Have you heard Kelsea Ballerini's new song?
No, what's that? Who's
Okay, so Kelsea Ballerini, she had her EP, Roll Up the Welcome Mat, country singer. She's from Tennessee. She went through a divorce in 2022. I believe her husband was Morgan Evans. They got married young. They had a very, very public breakup, and she wrote an EP about it that basically exploded her career. And she was always like a relatively okay, well-known country singer. Like, I listened to her growing up, but she was nothing huge. This took her mainstream. She wrote an incredibly raw EP about her divorce. And in one song, I think it was Blind Spot, something like that, she talks about one of the reasons for their divorce was that he was ready to settle down and have kids. He's 7 years older than her, and she wasn't. And she wanted to focus on her career. And he had had a bit more of a successful career at the beginning of their marriage. She was, sort of catching up. She was not ready for that. And they publicly talked about this. She gave interviews. She actually went on Call Her Daddy. And she said the children conversation was it. And they apparently went out to dinner. And she told her then husband, my 30th birthday present to myself and us is going to be, I'm going to freeze my eggs. Because I know I'm not ready, but I know you want to have kids, and I'm going to freeze my eggs. And her husband was like, absolutely not. Like, I want to have children now. I am ready to settle down. So they split up.
So and she was 30, he was 37.
I believe so, yes. Right. Or she was 29, about to turn 30 when they got divorced. And it also seems like maybe they weren't super compatible. There were other things there, but that was the crux. So now she's had this incredible success. It has been this wild ride. She's dating the guy from Outer Banks. They had this, fairy tale love story. She's writing all these songs about him. She's winning all of these awards. She's very much in, she's just, exploded out of Nashville country, and now she is extremely mainstream. She released a surprise single 5 days ago called I Sit in Parks. And the entire story there is that she goes, what the song says, she goes and she sits in parks and she watches families have picnics and play with their kids, swinging on swings, and she's sitting there hitting her vape and saying, she literally talks about that, and saying, I want that, and is it too late?
How old is she now?
33.
Wow. Is she still with the guy? The new guy?
Outer Banks guy?
Yeah.
They broke up, but then they got back together. It was this whole thing. They were spotted in,
tumultuous bullshit. It's not the same as being in a relationship with a guy that you were going to get married to.
They were, but they were for 2.5 years, and then they had a bit of a breakup. Now it seems like they might be back together. But she released the song, and she's saying, I sit in parks, and I wonder if this mom wants my freedom like I want to be a mother, and I wonder if it's too late. And she says, Rolling Stone says that I'm on the right path, but I wonder if I've, sacrificed my future. And then at the end, she's kind of like, oh, well, this is the life that I've created for myself. And she goes, my friend is due in March. My album's due in April. So I'll go refill my Lexapro and I'll get back to work. And it is so incredibly raw. But it's the timeline of that she was divorced only 3 years ago because she wasn't ready to have kids. She had this mountain of success, everything that she wanted. And now she's sitting here and going, shit. Did I wait too long? And I'm guessing that she wrote this when she and the boyfriend were on a break, whatever it was. But the women who are relating to that, if you look on social media, the success of the song, I mean, the comments are heartbreaking. It's all these women going, I don't know if I made the right decision. I thought I did all the right things. I focused on my career. I've emphasized, that. I haven't found
independence, financial security.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it's kind of trite to say it because I've talked about it so much, so have you. But I do think we're getting into a slight new era now, which is asking the question, is there a way to shortcut the unteachable lesson of financial independence will not give you the sense of belonging that you want as a young woman? And I understand that it feels very safe and secure rather than having yourself be a financial prisoner of some guy. Yep. I mean, women out-earn men up to the age of 30 or 31 still at the moment by a couple of grand a year. So I think that's really an issue, at least to that point.
That's something they're concocting up in their minds.
To a degree, yeah. Or that you wouldn't be able to go back to work. You wouldn't be able to go back to your career. I think that paternity problem, maternity leave, I get it. All of those issues. But asking yourself the question, is it actually worth it to avoid the very thing that most women have been working toward? What's the financial independence for? Just to Chelsea handle your way through the rest of life? I don't think that that's the case. And
it's an FU to men.
Yeah. I'm going to
It's saying, I don't need you.
Well, it's assuring your failure privately to be able to stick the middle finger up at men publicly. Yeah, I don't need you. I will be a miserable flag bearer for this movement. But it's a really unpopular perspective to take. So the fact that the comments was sort of with other women who had done the same thing, but it's kind of the same as being body positive. It's like it's toxic empathy.
Yes.
It's the optics of this argument are much more sexy than the reality of it, right? The optics of the argument are you don't need a man. You are enough as you are already. You don't need to wait to be chosen by him. In fact, you don't need to be chosen at all. You and your friends and your girlies and your vibrator are enough to get you through the next however many decades of your life. And maybe he'll come along, but if he doesn't, you don't need to worry. And like that is a really supportive and caring message if you take it without the sort of militant anti-men perspective on it, which is you are enough as you are. And wouldn't that be a wonderful place to get into a relationship from as opposed to one from desperation?
So that you're sharing it with somebody.
Yeah, and also that you don't make the sort of decision out of desperation. Like, I'm going to pick this person because I want a person, not because I want that person.
Yeah.
Understood. That doesn't tend to be the way that it's delivered. I saw this. I went onto the child-free subreddit.
That's a dark place.
When Taylor Swift got engaged.
Meltdown.
They were not happy. And there was I was like real impressed with most of the balance on there. There was some insane ones. One of the most insane ones was basically like, I can't believe that she would get into a relationship with that monster, that animal, like referring, because it made me the way that he presents or what they think about his politics or whatever it might be. But yeah, people, in the same way as Adele's weight loss was a threat to the body positivity community, Taylor Swift's engagement was a threat to the child-free community.
Oh, it absolutely was. And the fact that now all these things are coming out saying, oh, they're going to get married relatively quickly. Allegedly, they want to start a family. That's really important. But I also think, and this is something that was so funny to me, is I talked about this, obviously, and I was, reading those same comments and the same posts, and they were outlandish and absurd. But if you look at Taylor Swift's discography, you look at her music, everything she's written, she always wanted
She's a romantic.
She is. Like, that's the thing. And they were like, she's betrayed us. I'm like, I don't think she has. People mocked her for years because she went from boyfriend to boyfriend, but she didn't have many flings. Like, she was wholeheartedly in love with these guys, writing these songs. I'm going to marry you. I'd marry you with paper rings. I'm still thinking about you all these years later. That's what she wants. It's like, have you not actually been listening to her music? Have you just liked the fact that I think that's what it comes down to, is have you liked the fact that she has been so unlucky in love and it has made you feel better about your situation, and that has validated your choice?
Yeah.
And now you have to face the music, literally, that she's happy and she's finally gotten what she wants. And I think another thing that weaves into this conversation about women is something that I do think that has been harmful coming from more of the right wing, is this like women hit a wall conversation. Obviously, there is a biological clock that you have to consider, but saying that a woman at 30 years old has peaked, has no future, no prospects, can never have any children anymore, I think that's such a harmful thing to tell young women, especially if you have a woman who's come up in the era of, the child-free type folks, of the Alex Coopers, who then is having her mind change and is looking for something, and what she's hearing from so many prominent male voices, I think they're less prominent now, is that you're too old, you've hit a wall, you're ugly, nobody will ever want you, you've screwed up your entire life. It's like, that's not the way to address that. And I think Taylor Swift was kind of a middle finger to that movement as well, because she's 33 years old.
One of the most eligible bachelors in America. Yeah.
And she's happy, and it worked. And I look at, Kelsea Ballerini, and I understand, at 33 years old, she's going, this is, I don't have much time left, but in 10 years, obviously don't waste those. But it's not like you're 50. I
think you should be cautious about the 10 years thing.
Yeah.
I
guess with
fertility treatments are great, but even they're not magic. And
I think it comes from personal. My mom had me at 42.
Yes.
So it's like,
my mom had me relatively late as well.
Yeah.
But still,
fertility is on a decline.
Correct.
Yeah.
I get the sense that, and this is my least impressive strategy to fix the birth rate, I think that Taylor Swift will have a non-zero impact on the West's birth rate.
Okay.
Like, I think when she has, if she has kids, I think that causes a cascade of sufficient size that there will be a noticeable bump if you were to look at the sort of demographics of that. I think the sort of 2, 3, 4 years after that, I think you are going to see a tick in that.
Well, and culture is shifting. I mean, you have, her. You have Kelsea Ballerini. Millie Bobby Brown got married very young to Jake Bon Jovi, and they just adopted a baby less than a year after getting married. And she's very open about, this is everything she's ever wanted. She's incredibly happy. She's protecting this baby girl's privacy. Timothée Chalamet very recently was saying that he feels, it was like he feels like it's, I'm trying to remember the exact word he used, but basically he was saying that it is very depressing when people talk about not wanting children, and he's surrounded by a lot of people who do have children and are starting families, and he thinks that's really wonderful. And he was essentially saying, I think it's a marker of a very sad society if we are now saying that it's empowering to state that you're not going to have children and that you don't care. So we're seeing these shifts, and I think that's one thing where I think conservatives are better at this now, but where they've said, ignore pop culture, we're not going to be involved in that. It's like, no, these people do influence culture. They influence society. They influence the attitudes, especially of young women who are far more emotional and who lean on these figures. That's just an objective fact. Who are more emotionally swayed. Those are important changes. And I think those are worth celebrating and looking into. So I've had some people, when I've done episodes about that or talked about it, they say, like, Brett, it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, it does matter.
A quick aside, if you haven't been feeling as sharp or energized as you'd like, getting your blood work done is literally the best place to start. You need to work out what's happening inside of your body, and that is what blood work does. That's why I partnered with Function, because they run lab tests twice a year that monitor over 100 biomarkers. They've got a team of expert physicians that then take the data, put it in a simple dashboard, and give you insights and actionable recommendations to improve your health and lifespan. They track everything. Your heart health, hormone levels, thyroid function, nutrient deficiencies. They even screen for 50 types of cancer at stage 1, which is 5 times more than you get from an annual physical. Getting your blood work drawn and analyzed like this usually costs thousands, but with Function, it is just $499, and right now you can get $100 off, bringing it down to $399. Get the exact same blood panels that I get and save $100 by going to the link in the description below or heading to functionhealth.com/modernwisdom. That's functionhealth.com/modernwisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that little mere teaser with Brett Cooper, full episode is available to watch right here. Go on.